Good evening and thanks for joining us. The red light is on and the clock is ticking. Now that Canada's prostitution laws have been struck down, Parliament has 1 year to come up with new ones. In a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court ruled the laws as they exist endanger the lives of prostitutes and therefore breach their constitutional rights. The women who challenged the laws are rejoicing today, but what's unclear now is what happens next. Michael Couture reports.
Cheers erupt from the Supreme Court as sex workers learn of the historic decision. Hugs follow as they relish the end of a long legal battle.
Wow! Yes! Great day for Canada. Canadian women from coast to coast.
In a unanimous ruling, all 9 justices agreed with a lower court saying banning brothels exposed sex workers to added danger by forcing them onto the streets. The court found the law prevented prostitutes from working safely, an argument underscored by the serial killings of dozens of BC sex workers carried out by Robert Pickton.
This is an unbelievably important day in terms of the sex workers' rights movement, but for human rights for all Canadians.
The courts say it's now up to Parliament and the Prime Minister to come up with new laws on prostitution.
There's no more judges to hide behind, Stephen. You have to step up to the plate now and be a man. Grow some cojones.
This ruling strikes down all 3 prostitution-related prohibitions, which were keeping a brothel, living on the avails of prostitution, and street soliciting. Still, some women's rights groups disagree with today's decision.
And it's a sad day that we've now had confirmed that it's okay to buy and sell women and girls in this country. I think generations to come, our daughters, their granddaughters, and on, will look back and say, what were they thinking at that time?
Conservatives are also concerned with the court's decision and will look at their options.
The government is going to pursue ways through the criminal law to ensure that safety is provided for our communities, for those women who are exploited into this prostitution life.
Yeah. Dominatrix Bedford led this fight. Known for carrying a riding crop and an equally stinging sense of humor, she left on this note.
Prime Minister Harper called me, you know. He had offered me a job in the Senate. As a government whip, I told him I'd have to think about it.
On a more serious note, the government will now have 1 year to draft new legislation or change the current laws on prostitution to meet the Supreme Court's new standards. Donna?
All right, Michael Couture, thanks. And that